Welcome everyone to the 16th edition of the Lawn Care Skull Sessions. I'm Ben from Catch Pro Australia. I've got BJ from TBL Property Maintenance. And today we got a guest, Shorey from Shorey's Outdoors. How are you, mate?
Live outdoors.
Live outdoors. Sorry, mate. Well, it used to be Shorey's Outdoors, didn't it?
Yeah, it was.
You'll always be Shorey. Don't worry, we'll get all the website and all the socials in at the end of the episode. But thanks for joining us on the Skull Sessions. How are you?
Yeah, good.
And you had an awesome, did you have any break at all?
Had a break, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At the beach. Cyclone surf.
Yeah. Epic. Awesome. So we got a treat for everyone today, but before we get there, we'll cover some housekeeping. BJ, we got any reviews?
Yeah, we did get a review. It's a bit of a BJ focus one.
Should we warn any women and children first? Or?
No,
okay.
That's sweet.
It's all good.
Well, there shouldn't be children really watching anyway. Explicit content. Big Josh 320, love the podcast. BJ really stims my wiener.
Yeah. So, thank you. Who was that from? Big Josh.
Big Josh 320.
Thank you for that review. We love that.
Thanks, man.
And that's the latest review that we've got, and that's plastered
That's
right
on the
there
Apple podcast too.
for anyone. So we did we figure out the Spotify reviews
so for
yet?
Spotify, you can't actually leave any reviews. It's a 5-star system, so shoot them up there, guys. 5 stars.
Yep. I haven't checked those analytics. But YouTube's going well, and we're getting tons of comments there.
Yeah, everything's doing really well.
From the usual Thomas Hegarty, Turtle, all our mates.
Yeah, man.
Also, we got a special shout out to LMCA member Mick Carroll.
Yes.
You take this floor.
Sorry about it. So last week he messaged me after we were finished, and he's like, "Oh man, my missus, she thought you gave her a shout out, but you said bread. But Bree, this one's for you. Happy Lawnies Day."
And did I see something like they're getting married or something?
Oh, I hope so.
I might have seen that. I could be wrong. Mick did just buy his first Catch Pro, so thank you for that.
Nice. He's got something else special in the works, but I'll let him announce that.
Okay, and if anyone else is looking for a Catch Pro, where do they get that from again?
Oh, I think it's from catchpro.com.au.
Get on it. All right. So, quick plug. Do you want to plug anything else? Skag merch store?
Well, I just hit 2,000 on IG. That was pretty cool.
Very
Jesse
good.
Winter. Hey, he joined the Bearded Lawnsman with his personal and just got me over that 2,000.
Well,
so thanks, little man.
When he turns 18, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, if your parents are listening, sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into the episode. So, this is David Shaw from Live Outdoors. Sorry, we used to be Shorey's Outdoors.
Yeah.
Just to catch everyone up, how long roughly have you been in business for, pal?
Probably like 21 years.
Yep.
Yeah, 21 years. I was really doing lawns in high school in the Arvos, but, that doesn't count right now. But, yeah, 21 years.
And you're operating out of Brisbane.
Yeah.
And, obviously I'll let the audience know, we do all know each other.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, the networking and, bouncing ideas off each other. We do have an episode on networking, so you can go back into the archives and check that out. But this is really a great example of that. We've done tons of business over the years, all three of
We're
us.
still doing business now. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned that in high school you were mowing lawns. Like, what did that look like? Like, obviously you were at school full time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, school full time, and then in the afternoon I started mowing a dude's lawn across the road.
Yep.
And then next minute, a old lady come out, and she wanted her lawn done. And then, when I started out, obviously I didn't do as a great a job as you learn.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about.
Over time, started, busting it until it gets dark, and then get a few bucks for the weekend so you can buy some rums. And then,
See, when I was at school, instead of trying to earn some money to buy some rums, I was like probably somewhere trying to steal some rums or do something like that.
Yeah.
So I've come a long way as well. So when you were, say, finishing school, did you think the lawn mowing side of things, okay, this is what I want to do?
I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being outside. I always knew that.
Yeah.
And
Aussie kids, we all do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then, after school, obviously, did a whole bunch of different jobs. When I left school, I went and worked on a farm.
Oh,
so
beauty.
that was good for nearly a year. And that was some, really met some interesting people from all over the world, and travelers, and then did all sorts of different jobs, carpentry, what else, steel construction, and bits and pieces.
So you bounced around a little bit before you decided to form a business?
Yeah. So I worked for a company for a little bit that did indoor plants, and so learned how to do indoor plants, and in that we did a little bit of mowing, but I got fired from that job because I sucked at directions through the city.
Hey,
the only job I ever got fired from.
I absolutely totally respect your honesty, because I don't go, like in my life, I lived in Wynnum. And worked then in Wynnum. And you could dictate your own comfort zone. So from Cleveland to Cooperoo is what I advertised, and I never went any further than that.
Didn't part of the Benny story also contain a slight little dabble in courier work?
At one point, yes. But I wasn't the driver.
Oh, okay, that's completely
Kyle,
different. You were the runner.
I was the runner. I was supposed to also be the he was physically driving. I'm like, wait, turn left, right. But he was just one of those dudes where he knew. Like, one time we went on holidays and we were in Canberra, and I just couldn't for the life of me understand how he knew where he was going when we'd never fucking been there.
I couldn't even get to his wedding. we drove past it twice. I was like, this fucking just over the bridge.
Well, those were the days before Navman.
Yeah. I
didn't even know how to read a Refidex before that. So I'd have 30, 40 jobs in a day sometimes, like just going, hey, water dude, come in with your office and water the plants.
I remember having the old refos out, and you're doing these ones, and you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, I
was the only person in Queensland to break a steering wheel on this particular Isuzu truck, and because I was driving, and I'm like, which way is it? And I put my hand through the front of the steering wheel to grab my diary to tell you whether I needed to turn left, and then I smashed off the indicator, and I got stuck around the corner, and I nearly crashed. But anyway, things you do for money.
That's it, yeah. One of the mottos of our show is like, you got to do what you got to do to get through. So
that's it. And another one is know what you don't know. So you can take all this stuff on board. So when you first did you go and get qualified in any way?
I did landscaping. So I worked for years like landscape. We used to start at one side of the street and just landscape pretty much all the same homes, and you do the odd show home. There'd be like turf, retaining walls, irrigation, like the whole lot.
Okay,
from one end to the street to the other, and we work big hours.
In a big crew as well?
Big crew, like big 10, outfit, 15 people.
When you were in that job, were you able to get any tickets or qualifications or anything?
Well, I got a lot of experience.
So I don't have a single qualification at all.
So it was like trade experience. So
of course,
I've got signed off after that because I was doing did a certain amount of work, and I had a certain amount of skills. So then they said, look, I've got to do horticulture and do a few other certificates so I could get my landscape license and then my ticket in horticulture. So in that time I used to work full time, and then at night I'd study horticulture, and then on the weekends I'd be landscaping my own jobs. So,
crazy.
That's hustle,
so man, like it'd be by the time the next week come around, you didn't know what day it was, but but that's what I had to do to be able to buy the equipment. It wasn't didn't get any handouts by anyone.
No, we will dive into some of the gear later on. When you were going through the process, you're in this 10-hour, 12-hour a day work job, gathering all this experience. Did it happen organically, or did you get a push up the ass by anyone, or did you just think no, I've got to go out and do this for myself? Was there an urge, or did it happen organically? Or
when I actually, to start my business, I had a boat at the time, so I sold my boat, and then I bought some whippersnippers and gear, and everyone laughed at me at the time because it was a drought. And so I had a few family members and friends go, "You're an idiot! What are you doing buying a gardening business in a drought? You idiot!" And you're never going to get anywhere in life. And I was like, it's going to rain one day. And everyone was getting out of it. So I was picking up work, you know,
and
here and there. And
I'm guessing that must have been like 2000, 2002.
yeah,
Because that was when we started in 03.
yeah.
Or it might have been at the tail end of 02, I can't remember now. But that drought was horrible.
Oh, mate, it was.
And-
you'd roll up to a job every 2 weeks or 3, and then it'd just be dirt, and there's nothing to mow, and you go, "Oh, I'll be back next time." But you know,
I remember it was.
Whenever it rains, man. Whenever it rains, we'll see you then.
I mean, now when I look back on those droughts in Brisbane, you know, it doesn't seem as bad in the sense that because I was so young, I didn't need all the money that you know really I could have potentially earned. You know, I was just getting I didn't have any bills, and you know the way that I started with my old man, I didn't have to rely on myself. So it sort of helped me sort of dip my toes in, but I can imagine for someone who was actually fully starting up, it must have been a little difficult.
yeah, it was. You know, I was lucky because before that I had a roommate. What really motivated me was I come home one day when I was working, and then all of my shit was gone out of the house. Someone had stolen. My roommate had come in and stolen all my stuff and my tools and all of this. And after that, he'd racked up like a massive internet bill and phone bills to overseas and like $5,000 phone bills and stuff. And I was only, you know, young.
Was this in Wynnum?
Yeah, that was
Bloody Wynnum.
yeah, Shepherd Street in Wynnum.
Bloody
this guy.
Ghetto by the sea.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got hustled hard, and then I had to. It was such shame. I had to move in with my partner, my girlfriend, Amy at the time, her parents, and he owned a plumbing business, and you know that was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. But in the opposite sense, it was one of the greatest. Where Jeff had a business, and I got to learn a few more business skills on how to manage your tax and BAS and things like this. Where you know he did help to show me some of that avenue.
Nice. Yeah, learn from experience, hey. So when did the Shorey story, like Shorey's Outdoors, was that the name of your mowing business, or is that did that come after?
It was originally Shorey's Gardens and Lawns.
Yeah.
And then
Benny.
like Benny, he was one of my first employee.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
No, yeah.
You might have had some other workers.
Guys helping out.
What was he like? Was he like a little stick?
Benny was a straight up hustler. he was cool. He's always honest. That's one thing about Benny. He's always honest.
That's it.
Even though he's a little shit sometimes, and you know, his mouth off and at someone. But
Shorey gave me the nickname Bobcat Benny.
Yeah.
Because these guys were sort of doing more of the technical side, you know, building a retaining wall and, you know, doing like, you know, some of the things that, because I had only ever mowed.
Yeah.
So when I came in, I was digging holes and hauling barrow loads of gravel, and, you know, back then we didn't have the machinery.
No, man.
So it was all me. But yeah, so that would have been like, how long did I stick around for? Maybe a year or two?
Yeah, probably like 2 years. Yeah.
So of course, you know, I had a mowing business, and my first business failed, and I bumped around. I worked for wages at a retirement village, and eventually ended up with Shorey. Going forward from there, when I left Shorey, I ended up purchasing some of your business.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about when you first started. I know that by the time I had gotten there, we weren't, like, we were doing some mowing, but we were mostly just doing like garden cleanups, like mini landscaping.
Yeah, that was the garden cleanups was where the cream was, you know.
And we had some maintenance, but at the time, your philosophy was get into a yard with a crew for a day, rip that yard apart, put all the plants in, mulch it, boom, the next day you're at a new place.
Yep.
So, you know, that was a pretty good philosophy in the sense that, you know, instead of taking on these huge landscaping jobs where you need to, not only do you need to be skilled yourself, but you need to have skilled workers.
Yeah.
But you also need to have really the capital behind you to, you know, there's nothing worse than when you're starting out, you don't have that capital, and someone's like, you know, you do your quote and it's going to be $50,000 worth of materials and you can't pay for it. Yeah. You know, that can be heartbreaking sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there any of that when you started to transition from those garden cleanups into the larger jobs, or did everything build to a point where, okay, we're ready for this now?
The scariest thing was turning away from that regular work So having regular clients each week to shoot, like getting rid of all of that and then going, hey, living from week to week and in total trust. Like it's scary at first, but it worked out. And nonetheless, I had to hustle hard to get jobs and things like that. But we learned a lot from, like, garden cleanups were great in a sense where it's a good start, where you can come in as long as you know how to trim what, and you're not butchering someone's beautiful prize roses and you know, like, and things like that, which we were good at pruning roses and got very detailed. All the horticulture paid off, but I always learnt extra. It wasn't like I just got my qualification from horticulture school and then when I know what I need to do now. I was constantly learning, and if I'd go to someone's place and they go, hey, can you do this? And I'd go, yes, and then Google, how do you trim that?
Well,
you know,
that's all them words.
I got a little.
That's the truth.
I got a little sidebar story here. So I remember one day we were doing a quote. We were at pretty nice acreage, and this lady, I don't know if she was testing you or not, but you know, she would say like, oh, you know, there would be like a Sheena's gold hedge, and she'd be, what's the scientific name for that shit? It's golden something.
Oh, Sheena's gold. What's that?
It's probably been a while since you
it's
tested
been ages. I haven't even bought one of them in a while.
But you know,
I'll think of it.
I remember hearing some of the shit that was coming out of your mouth, and you were like, "Oh yes, the fucking stratocumulus bloody, that's a cloud."
Fucking Hemiasolissima, no, that's what it is,
You know, and I remember seeing some of that, and I remember just sitting there going like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But you know, like, hey,
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, and you know, I mean, we do all of that sort of stuff in our business all the time.
100%.
It's good to be aware. You know, because when you get caught out, you feel like a bit of a douche.
Yeah, well, it's taking a calculated risk at the start because
that's a great,
you know, it's like, and that's half the part of learning, because you can now with the internet, like back in the day when we were at school, it was all books. Like there was internet, but you know, you remember looking at, you know, naughty pictures on the internet, it'd take half an hour before you even see the head. You know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. With the internet, so back in the day, how did you chase your work?
Paper. Newspaper, word of mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to roll down the landscape yard and I got like a pot with a cactus in it, and I'd put like sticky tape a card holder with a card in. I go, hey mate, here's this and here's some beers if you put my card up.
Yeah, sweet.
And so people would have cards at the counter, and then we'd do letterbox drops. I'd have the yellow pages, you'd have the paper, but then it hit this time where the paper died. Like you know, it like for me it just went. And it happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't reckon so. Yeah, I mean, I guess more time has passed than what I thought. But I mean, we had this on a past episode. We did the paper for years, and what the beauty about it was that every week you could open up that ads section in your local area, and you could see everyone else's ads.
Yep.
So you could say, "I'll put a fucking blue border around mine." You know, anything to make it pop.
Yeah,
that's what was great about it.
Yeah,
these days online. Yes, you can be, you know, fancy and groom things up, but because there's so much out there, it's harder for a potential customer to choose.
Yeah, I guess it's still the same though. You can pay money to put your ad to the top, and you know, Google search being right up the top there, and I'm guessing that's the way your business went to all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, we you know, we used to do a lot of word of mouth too, so I try to look after our existing customers where, you know, at the end of the job, do a couple extra things, and, you know, like even, like for now, we send people gift packages and at the end of the job just to say thank you for the work.
Beauty.
But, you know, we're upgrading right now. We're actually upgrading our website, and that's getting worked on. And we've got a whole bunch of photos of all the work we've done getting jammed on there at the moment. And
speaking of photos of work you've done, check this out, everyone. So I'm hoping that we don't get any like full mad blowback from the camera, but this here. So I'm going to turn it around, everyone, just showing Shorey. This is an example of some work that was completed. What areas did you do in this?
So we did a lot of the trees, turf.
Oh, you brought all those trees in?
Well, they got craned in, and then along it was like a tree spade. It's like this.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. These trees are actually from where are they, near Toowoomba, and so the tree guys come in and they've got this spade where they dig a hole off the back of the truck and then pop them in the ground.
I'm watching those things, taking the big ones out.
Here's another example of some of Shorey's work, and we just want to give this a quick plug so that everyone can see what's possible out there from
Yeah,
someone.
That one's got a
You can have that
spa. Yeah, dude. It's got a sauna
Is
behind
it
it.
sunken? Is it a sunken spa?
Yeah,
or-
so in the deck.
You've
So-
decked it
sunk
up?
it down,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now this is a bloody piece of work.
Yeah.
What's that? Sunken Fire Pit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So the client
mate.
was looking at ideas for that. He thought, I want a fire pit, and they have a beautiful property. And he's like, oh, wanted a couple of things on there outside the box. And we were chatting, and it was like, what about a sunken fire pit with a pool around it? And
Yeah, that's
a
amazing.
bridge, walking into it, and getting a bit creative.
And I'm guessing this one has some decking and some brickwork on the
Yeah,
walls
so
there.
that's like all natural stone,
That's so
glued
nice.
on with the decking, and got some local native plants of carex planted in the gardens. Yeah.
That must be such a bonus to have a client come to you and say, I want something just completely different that you haven't seen before, and just go for it. You can just
Yeah.
fucking throw these ideas that you've had just bouncing around in there.
Oh man, it's because sometimes when you have the right person you can connect with, you can kind of let it free range, and then do a design. Like that's probably 1% of that job. That's a 5-acre property with there's fireplaces and spas out the back, infinity pools, and like areas for the horse and dressages, and
Wow.
arenas and basketball pit hoop area
Oh,
with
don't say
cricket
that.
pitches and everything irrigated.
If they had a half pipe,
Yeah,
it'd be like my dream, right?
yeah.
So when you just hearing that now, like when you were doing your landscaping when you were working for another mob, obviously most of that was all commercialized. It's like straight edges and this plant is going to go here at every fucking house. Things like that.
Everything's budgeted.
Well,
to
when
the T.
initially it was
And they're
very
using-
very cheap,
and
like fencing, like the homes that you buy, reasonable homes, and they all look similar
Yeah.
up and down the street. And this one's got like pavers, this one's got timber edge. Very, but you learn the basics to get really really good at it. And then I worked for Scape Shapes, was a bigger company, and we used to do, we did the biggest shopping centre in Queens, well in Australia probably, in Queensland was. We did it up the coast here.
Okay.
North Lakes.
Yeah.
Did North Lakes, and then with we
Do you reckon
go
you
into,
can? Do you reckon you can go back there and pick up the maintenance there then?
That'd be-
I'm not in the game anymore. But BJ's in.
Boy,
Um,
salivating a little bit on that one. Hey, there's a new complex going down at the end of my street. You can put into that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can give me the maintenance.
Well, that's why. So, to any lawn mowing contractors out there, whether you do a little bit of landscaping or you don't do any, it's been a blessing for me to hook up with a landscaper like Shorey here, because it would allow us. Obviously, you couldn't fulfill the maintenance at a certain point,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
your business just got too big and it wasn't your main interest.
Yeah.
But someone like me, who is just, that's what I built my whole core business around. It's great to be able to have, a situation where you do all the creations and then you put in there, hey, we've got a maintenance guy, you're going to want him to come in once or twice a week for watering, once a fortnight for weeding, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So it's a really great way, if we go back to our networking episode, and I think starting a lawn care business, these are all great tips that you can learn, that these are just, some of our experiences that we've fully experienced and put to the test. And it's a great way to not only build your contacts and networking, but ultimately make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy,
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. Like, I would do maintenance jobs and they would say, oh, hey, can you concrete this path, or can you, put a garden edge in, things that I wasn't equipped to do. Then it's like, well, I can't, but my homeboy Shorey,
Yeah.
look, and
Well,
it just...
you bringing that up. Shorey did a job for me, and I didn't want to tell you, but about a month later, she bought a Rottweiler, and it fucking tore that whole backyard to pieces.
Oh, no.
And man, as long as she paid the bill, but it was so beautiful. It was all natives and stone, and I was like, fuck, I love this place. And then buffalo turf out the back, a new buffalo. And she bought this Rottweiler, and I was like, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. And then 2 months later, man, it was like, fuck. Oh, I felt so bad for you having to go and do that work. But then I was like,
It's hard when the grass hasn't
man.
established yet, and you got a new dog.
Oh.
Like especially a puppy, they dig everything up.
Everything.
It happens with us as well. Like someone will buy a brand new Catch Pro, and they might use it for a little bit, and they still look pretty cool, right? And then all of a sudden they have a little accidente and they clip a tree, or they ram it into something, and you might. Sometimes people send them to me, and sometimes you might just see it on social media, and you're like, oh damn, and you're
Michael Carroll actually told me that he does a property and he's returfed 4 times because these people decided to get 2 Labradors in this little courtyard, and he's returfed 4 times.
Oh man, I got 2 labs. You don't want them in a confined area.
No. Well, at least if you got to have irrigation or something that's just fertilizing it regularly to just keep it kicking,
Speaking of fertilizing, was there ever a portion of your business where you did, say fertilizing or chemical treatments and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So you were fairly diverse in the things that you would do?
Yeah, we used to, like, for acreages or anything, like I'd be out there spraying, getting rid of the weeds. So,
selective sprays.
Spray, like using Roundup, glyphosate, selective weed killer, like, camber and things like that are, slightly toxic, or fungus, like in wet areas, spraying fungicides. And, we used to do a lot of that. I got really sick after a while, but, years and years of doing that, I got to a point where I kept getting chest infections and getting really sick, and it wasn't until I'd been to the doctor for like a year, and they're like, kept putting me on antibiotics and things, and I was like, this isn't working, I gotta try something. So I went to this like herbalist, and he was like, you want this one? Oh, he's like, you got blood poisoning. And I was like, what? And he's put this steam stuff on me, and all this black goo started coming out from the chemicals. Because they used to, what it's like, you got a backpack on and you go to tie up your shoes, and next minute you got Roundup all over there, or, some highly toxic shit you do not want on your skin.
Yeah. Well, look, we feel the same way about fuel. One of the biggest blessings for Greenscape Solutions has been pretty much the only fuel that we use is in the ride-on mowers now.
Yes.
And
I'm moving that way. Like, on your advice, it's so much.
You're breathing in that stuff, you're mixing it, and then, on a really hot day, you might mix a little bit of fuel, even if you haven't spilt any, then you go to have a cigarette, and it's just like... it's just...
That's fucking danger town.
Well, it's the worry is not that it's igniting, it's just you're breathing in all the extra shit.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds rich coming from me who's having a ciggy now, but, it just... Look, I know... I reckon I used to get fuel poisoning.
Yeah.
On a really hot day.
It's the worst, because you wake up in the morning and drag your sorry ass out of bed. But, for me, I think... The worst part was when you're doing hedges in a confined space, like in someone's tiny little courtyard, there's no wind, and you fire that old sucker up, and smoke's going everywhere, and you just disappear into the smoke, and you're like, hold your breath for a bit, and, just to get it done. Like,
well, I mean, BJ and I, we're not pulling cords for any of that stuff anymore.
No.
We're rocking some of the ego stuff. Here we go. Nah, it's on your head, bro.
oh!
Yeah. We're rocking some of that ego stuff, and we got bits and pieces, but it's I think fuel is definitely a thing of the past. We've got an episode on battery versus fuel too that you can check out in the archives. So moving forward, let's talk a little bit about employees. Obviously after I left, few people swung in and out. How hard is it to build a solid crew behind you in the landscaping game?
Landscaping is one of those things there's 2 type of people that come. Well, there's probably more, but some people just are interested and want work. You got to be part crazy to do it, I think, because you're in the sun, everything is manual just about, unless you're on a machine or it's wheelbarrows, it's digging, it's really rewarding. Yeah. I think it's kind of like, to me, I look at all these young guys that come out now, and I really care. Like, all of our staff are like family to me, because you're busting your balls every day, and the guys get a real kick at the end of the job when you've created something, you're like, look at this, and it's like, and everyone's, into it. To me, that's the buzz that gets people through. The people that come in for the money, it's kind of like they come and go.
Yeah.
There's always a better opportunity for them somewhere else. And
Yeah.
you know, like I've learned over the time, you pay the boys good and you give them incentives and they stick around for longer. But it's you know, it's a hard going because guys can get hurt out there, and you know, if you've got the wrong person that's just, you know, negative, bringing the team down. Because you know, once you allow someone into your business that's like, oh, that's so hard and I can't do that, and you know, especially when you're doing really tricky, difficult stuff, it can send the whole team a little bit sideways.
And it's tough too, like it's different if you've got someone green that comes in and doesn't know how but is interested in learning and you can see them progressing. That's a little bit different to someone who comes in an environment and you can tell they're perfectly capable but they're just a fucking lazy prick.
Yeah.
And oh, this sucks, I'm bored, that's too hard, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Just quickly, I don't know if Navi listens, but let's just talk a little bit about Navi. He's kind of your right-hand guy.
Mm-hmm.
So Navi is, he works for Shorey. He's Indian, right?
Yeah.
How long's he been with the team now for? I mean, he's like your brother.
10 years.
He's sort of like your brother, father, son.
Yeah,
just everything.
He's my mentor now.
Yeah. How important has someone like Navi been to live outdoors?
Yeah, well, you know, he come in fresh, no experience. His father owned some big farms over in India, and he come over here to learn, you know, to learn about Australia and to, you know, get a taste for it. And then he randomly, I met him on the farm actually, because my cousins used to own a farm out bush, or close family members, I call them cousins, but
yeah.
So we used to go there a lot, and one day he was there, and next minute he was going to Brisbane and asked for work, and at the time he used to drink probably 4 litres of wine a night and roll up at least, and then roll up and he'd be, oh, what's going on? I'm like, man, I'd whiz off to pick something up and he'd be asleep under a tree in the bushes.
Can I say my funniest ever? This is a sidebar. Can I say my funniest Navi story that I've ever heard? Right now, I didn't actually experience this. Nick, who worked for you briefly, told me about this. But you know, he's rocked up to work one day. Navi's in the yard preparing, you know, loading the tools on, and you're nowhere to be found. So Nick's like, "Oh, where's Shorey?" And I think you'd gone away for the weekend. It might have been for your wedding, or someone's wedding. And Navi answered, "He's at the marriage," and it was the funniest shit that I ever heard, because, you know, in an Aussie environment, he's going to a wedding or something, but Navi's like, he's at the marriage. And you know, it must be so awesome bringing someone in from a different culture and teaching them our way.
Yeah.
And he brings a lot of you know, like,
he does a lot of things his way.
A lot of native stuff his way. Yeah.
Like this work, when you're teaching someone, you show them at first this way to do it, and then they can kind of tweak it and find that what works for them.
Put their remix on it, yeah.
I actually worked with Navi for a while. I stole him for a bit.
Yeah.
For about 3 months,
maybe about 2 months.
Yeah,
you sort of
something
jumped
like that.
on board. That was when you went
with
did
the designer.
Went with the designer. We'll get
We-
back. We'll touch on that a little bit, but
that was
that was classic.
good, man. He only rocked up late once. He's like, too much Jack Daniels.
Oh, he's moved up from the Goomba.
Man. Yeah, he was straight onto it.
So, no, that's fantastic. So, when you are building another crew, like, what sort of, like, how are you looking for those types of workers? Because there's a lot of talk in our industry about solo operators looking to take that next step to employ.
Yeah.
And it's hard in this world today. What steps did you take? Did you advertise? Did you use friends of the family? Like, what sort of things did you do?
I've never advertised.
Beauty, yeah.
Never once. But I'm not against advertising. I think it can work. But it's just, you know, every time I'm going to have a thought, someone would appear and go, I really need someone. And the next minute, someone will be like, oh, you got to ring up, you got a job? Like, one time, this really tripped me out. I was like, oh, I really need someone else to help. And then the next day, I had a call, and the guy was from Germany. and he was living in the house I grew up in as a kid, living in my old bedroom.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like rang me
man.
out of the blue, and then next minute he's working for us, and he was a pro soccer player, and studying some stuff, but he was on break, whatever sort of break they were at, and he like randomly worked for us for a bit, and he's like, oh, I've got to go back home and study, and so then disappeared again. I was like, that was weird.
Yeah. Oh, that's a crack up.
Yeah.
So, like, even though you sort of went through that experience, so employing people has not really been an issue for you, or is it just keeping the workers? Like, what has your experience been with employing people?
Everyone, it's a lot easier to get someone and say they're useless, they can't do something. I kind of changed my perception with that to go, what are they good at?
Yep.
And channel them into that direction, especially like now I've got teams of guys working with us. So I'll get someone and it's like, they can't do this and they can't do this, but I know that they can, so then I'll focus in on taking the time to show them how to do something properly.
Yeah.
Because when you're mowing lawns and that, you don't often have time because you're like, I've got to do these jobs. So you're like, grab the whippersnipper and go for it and piss off, and I'm going to do my stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, how do I start this? Instead of having a process. So everything needs a process. It doesn't matter. If you're starting to get staff, you need to make it safe as well. So having a process where you're like, okay, when you are standing around, we fill up the machine, you get the cord, you tie to the back of the ute if there's nothing to do. Then, okay, now have a go at some areas that might not be as, if it's a garden, like you don't bring them to your finest jobs where they're blasting all the edges or butchering the edges or something. You start them off on things where you're at a job and you go, oh, have a good crack at that hedge.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you come back and you go, look,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it that way, but taking the time, because sometimes you miss someone that could be really good that has no experience, but it's an investment. You want to invest in that if you're going to invest in that person, you want to keep them for a long time, and as they get better, they're going to make you more money.
Yeah, true. And I mean, it's been a while since I've taught or trained anyone because I'm sort of out of that now, but one thing that I have sort of learned looking back is, like, to teach is to learn twice. You know what I mean? Sometimes you overlook some of the things that you already know how to do, and over time you can either become like really good at that, or you can start cutting corners even yourself. And when you are training someone, you kind of get back to the fundamental basics, and it kind of keeps you true in a way. Let's say it was you doing some paving or whatever. I don't know how active you are on the tools and in the field. I'm assuming most of the time you're just organising, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
So it's not...
I still jump out there when there's some really fiddly,
when you need it. That's the same with me.
Yeah.
I got a worker that's got COVID at the moment, so I'm fucking out, doing this stuff again. And, like, a part of me misses it, but the time limits is what gets me. Like, I don't mind, volunteering myself when I'm in the right headspace and when I've got a bit of time.
Yeah.
But when you don't have time, it's like it just becomes a burden.
Yeah.
And you boys have earned that too. Like, you guys have been in the game a long time, so me, I'm still on the tools every fucking day. So
but you will take that leap one day soon. Like when it, especially with your business that's grown so fast, eventually you'll get to a point where, like, you won't be able to be everywhere at one time. And you can fully relate to that. That's hard. Like, do you guys run multiple sites at multiple times in terms of landscaping?
Like, before Christmas, I had 5 jobs on before Christmas, and a lot of them, like, some of them are $150,000 jobs, $200,000, $250,000 jobs. You're running in and you got, like, at one job I had, you got, say, carpenter building a deck. You've got the, concreter, he's doing the concrete, and before Christmas this year with COVID, it's so busy. So if one person misses that day, then that concrete is booked out till Christmas. So those people miss out. Well, we're lucky we got it all
Yeah.
got it all done. I left the week before Christmas free, so
That's good.
but it rained for like a month. It was like I ended up pouring the concrete driveway, put up a tarp over it, and the rain's pissing down. Concrete like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, so we're going to get it done. Got it done.
Thank you.
So piggybacking off that info when you were talking about, the carpenter's doing this and, the brickies doing that, the way that you have structured live outdoors now, are you mostly subbing out all of the different areas, or is it an in-house, like do you use...
We do a lot of our own stuff.
Yeah,
mostly.
okay, yep.
But
because these
we've got a
days...
team of guys that come in, and sort out all the things that I don't want to do. So we changed where I used to do a lot of it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now we're doing jobs where everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't we get the best of the best at doing what they do?
That's right, yeah.
So, you do that.
And you can tell.
You do that.
The photos show, like, the proof is in the pudding, man. The fucking... That stuff. I've just bought a house, and it's a doer-upper. And I've got all this shit running through my head. I'm like, I could do that. And then I saw your photo, I was like, I fucking can't do that, man. I need to call Shorey.
If we can we maybe move out of the landscaping a little bit more into the horticulture?
Yeah.
What sorts of things excite you in terms of like fruit trees, veggies, all sorts of new innovative concepts to put into your landscaping? Can you talk us through some of that stuff? Because I've always found it really interesting, and it's not commercialized. It's not wide. Like no one's really messing with this. What's that process look like?
I think it's about learning, like to me, you can have the most prettiest garden, but every plant, some plants like part shade, some like full sun, some are hardy, as in you put them in, you don't, like a cactus, you don't need to worry about it. And the fun part is over 21 years is experimenting with plants and going, okay, well, let's try this here. And then go, that didn't work, but it costs money. Then you got to replace that plant when it dies. But over time, you get good at working out what's going to live where, what's hardy, what's, what looks good. For me, it's like, I personally like lots of colour. I like flowers, I like fruits, I like vegetables, and, I like to mix it all up. Whereas when you're doing a job for a client, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
You got to get inside their mind and in their life and what's going to excite them at home as well. So everyone's different. So it's a matter of trying to capture how they live at home and try and make something that where they're at home, they're like, this is my place. I'm gonna swim.
Do you have like a Shorey signature? Because I've seen a lot of the jobs, and
It's got to be autumn gold.
Yeah.
Remember autumn gold?
Yeah. What's that?
That's like one of the was it a rivery rock sort of gravel?
Yeah, it's like a natural river gravel stone. That's
like
I was thinking.
I remember when his business was way smaller than what it is now. Probably a little bit past the garden cleanup stage. Maybe your first few years of doing landscaping jobs locally. There would be a certain amount of times per year where I would pick up jobs that weren't. They weren't from you, but the client had called me, and it was funny. Like, I would step into a place, and I'd be like, "Fucking Shorey's been here, eh?" Like, you could just tell from some of the materials that have been used.
Yeah.
But
I love the sleepers, man. The upright sleepers.
Oh yeah, the natural sort of railway.
Yeah, the old railway sleepers. Yeah.
Were they like legit ones, or like they were the ones? They're not like the ones now that are like fake, but they look real as hell.
No.
They
You
still
mess
have
with that
bolts
stuff?
hanging out and shit.
It's some people don't want because using
Some people
old
don't,
timber, termites and things. Or
Sure.
But yeah, every case is different. There's some really cool looking fake timber.
Fake shit, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just bought out here. I've got like the cane wicker day beds and stuff.
Oh yeah.
We got that, and when you go and have a look at it, it looks like it, right? But it's fucking aluminium.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and it looks for real, but now it's not going to get like all sun damaged and all fucked and everything. It won't rust or nothing.
He's painted his grass, and he's got all this fake shit.
Yeah, painted me grass out there. So, no, that's awesome. So like looking forward or say looking at your business right now,
Mm-hmm.
are you where you want to be, or do you want to grow? What do you want to do?
There's always I get bored easy,
I know how that feels like, man.
so I got to kind of.
I'm fucking bored right now.
Got to keep upping the bar. Like we're doing a lot bigger projects. We're doing a lot more like bits and pieces that are very very intricate and take a little bit more time. But for me, we are like I love landscape, and I'll always be a landscape. I love being outside, and I also love organising things. But we're starting to move into writing a book. I've been working on a book for a while, and we're going to do. We're also doing some like videos and podcasts and things like that on landscaping.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So would you say, when you've mentioned, you get bored easy and you've always got to set the bar higher, all of those attributes are really, leading to success ultimately. But would you say that's the difference between someone like you and someone who is content, who is like, oh, okay, I've kind of got enough. I'm happy with what I've got. Whereas on the flip side, it's like, for you, it's like, no, this is never fucking enough. I need to do $1 million job. I want to landscape Parliament House. I want to, whatever.
I always had the vision of like, a couple of these jobs that I'd been to a few jobs where I did maintenance. I'm like, one day I'm going to build something like that, in the back of my mind, and planted that seed years ago. And I've always wanted to, create the perfect landscape that is like the Garden of Eden, where you walk in and you could be walking through the backyard and be like, nom, nom, nom. Like swim in the creek, and go, geez, I'm hungry, and catch a barramundi or something,
That's awesome.
and like walk out the back and milk the cow and have your breakfast or something like.
That's fucking hilarious. No, I love that. So what sort of, for someone who's in the lawn mowing game, and they listen to this podcast and they've shown some interest, what would be like your advice for them to make that transition into landscaping? And you can use your own experiences, or you can use your own lessons that you learned.
I'd say go slow and go smaller to start with, because there's so many things that can go wrong in a landscaping. Like if you've had a lot of experience and you know the job, it's a different thing being a landscaper and being a businessman. They're two different things. And I've learned that the hard way, starting out as a landscaper and getting screwed over in business. And so they're two hats.
Yeah.
So, I would say, number one, get a little bit of business. Watch a few videos on business. Watch
the Skull Sessions podcast.
Yeah, watch something like this where you can learn about it.
I mean, look, I've learned the hard way too. BJ may have his own experiences, but with Catch Pro, I know, okay, I've got a product.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I've kind of got to become a salesman.
Yep.
And let's face it, I left high school in year 11 and didn't do very well there. Started mowing, which, yes, you pick up some business skills along the way, but when you move into something like sales, all of a sudden you're no longer talking about providing a service where you're using like when I used to try and sell myself to a customer in greenscapes, it's like, okay, I'm going to jump on the mower, I'm going to trim a hedge, or and you eventually learn what you're capable of.
Yeah.
When you're selling a product, you need to, like, I remember one of the first things I fucked up was one of the big mower manufacturers in America, Ed Wright, tried to do a business deal where he made the Catch Pro.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, so what sort of numbers are you looking at? And, I threw out this, like, wild percentage. And, like, he didn't laugh at me, but he, like, wrote back, he's like, that's our total margins, and that's never going to happen. And then, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't educated on what it was like, and we've got a great relationship now, but that business relationship, you couldn't go any further because you kind of already fucked it. And it's just another example of, I think it's smart to know what you don't know, So like if you can't pour a slab, just don't do it.
No, don't do it. Don't do it because it's expensive to take it out and do it again.
Yeah.
Have you experienced anything like that, BJ?
Yeah,
or are you just fucking perfect all around?
Dude, I think the only reason why I haven't had these massive issues is because of you and from you. Because
fucking booyah!
Yeah!
I'm leaving you hanging.
Because I came in, I've been in the business, 7 years now? And you were, a grade above me? So, I knew about you, but, getting together with, I've always been friends with Ben, so automatically I knew Shorey, and...
He even married into me family.
Married into his
just
family.
to get closer to me.
Yeah. That's so good. He fucking come out of the shower in his undies, and I was in his pool this afternoon. Having a
Mocha didn't even let me know.
Mocha's like, oh, BJ's here.
Careful of those ducks.
Yeah. No, but I've been so lucky because I can... If I hit something that I'm like, fuck, I've got you guys on the blower. I can be like, what the fuck do I do here? Give me some advice. You guys have had it. You guys have done it all before. So that's networking. Fucking hit that podcast up. It's networking's what it's all about, and that's another form. I can call you guys and hassle you and say, hey, this customer's hit me up for a certain type of plant. I don't know what the fuck it is. He'll be like, wait, don't call me, call fucking Shorey. Straight up to Shorey. So, I think I've had a massive advantage into the business, and I think that's why I've actually grown so big so quick. That's the only thing I can think of, because I had no experience really before I jumped in. I jumped in balls deep.
One thing that I feel, one thing that I feel was probably a factor was the fact that because you're a bit older, you're more mature. It just happens, hey, right? When when I was working for you, there's no way that you looked at me, at least in the beginning, and was like, oh, he's going to go on to develop this and have that.
Well, you taught me a lot.
Well, yeah, but maybe the attitudes were quite different back then.
Yeah,
I remember. I think I remember me and Kyle. We used to rock up at your place at 6 o'clock in the morning without t-shirts on. If someone did that in today, if one of my guys had rocked up to site, now it's a little bit different with my guys because we're pretty close and I know what they're capable of. But if I had hired someone new and they rocked up, I would be sitting there thinking man, you got 30 seconds to put that shirt on, or I'm giving you a fucking DDT or something.
You're rowdies.
So, and times have changed.
Yeah.
So you can't. These days, everyone's so sensitive that you can't swear on a job, or you can, but you know what I mean. A new person would be
bring back the biff. It's like we used to, roll up to a landscape yard on a Friday arvo where everyone's trying to get their gear for the weekend. There'd be punch-ons in there, pull it in front of me, blah, 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 and I'd be splitting up fights and, just at the landscape yard.
Would you just be
like, biff anymore?
Pocket sand.
Man.
So what did, obviously, yes, we talked about advice, two different hats with the business side of things.
Yeah.
Do you think, it's probably smarter to learn it rather than to outsource all that business stuff, though, hey?
I think you've got to have a handle, because you can get someone to take care of, say, your tax and everything, and they might do a shit job, which I've been through, and it's cost a fortune, where you get to the point where you could nearly just about lose your business because, they haven't looked and claimed fuel credits and, different tax breaks and, all this stuff that, you don't think of. It's like my business now, the amount of paperwork that you have. Well, it's like you roll up to a job with a folder this thick just on health and safety, how to pick up a drill. Let alone, paying your insurance, your tax, your rego, then keeping all your receipts and putting them into zero and filing them, and then also getting the boys when they pick up stuff on site to give you those receipts, otherwise you can't claim it. And then not only that, you've got the list goes on. I could sit here forever going, how many things you want to...
having 5 sites going all at once, man, I'm fucking like terrified.
Oh,
that's
dude,
crazy.
it's a real buzz.
Yeah.
It's a buzz.
Yeah.
Like,
do you get off on that sort of stuff though? Like, you like that?
I don't know.
Man, he's tantric.
Yeah.
It's all, to me, it's over time learning mindset. Like, I've done martial arts now for I don't even know how long, 10 or 15 years as well. And that's and meditation and yoga and things like that. Not because I wanted to at the start, it's because my body was broken.
Yep.
You know, years ago I was in a car accident and they said, you know, you'll never be able to run again and you got to give up your job and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, going to physios and, you know, I've probably spent a couple $100,000 on acupuncture, physios, like and some other shonksters and, you know, but the thing is now, you know, I'm fine, I can work, I can do things, but I realised that, you know, doing this job is a real physical thing.
Yeah. Like landscaping, I've probably thought about it semi-recently. I think it was when you and I were doing the job at the village.
Yeah.
And it was just one day of work, we had, maybe 30, 40 plants.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was like... I had to bring BJ in, and I actually had to have the conversation. Like, you know, I can probably dig some holes, but like I probably can't dig them all. You know, and I remember like BJ had to do most of the heavy lifting because physically with my back, I couldn't do it. Like I just like.
Do you think I should be called BJ the Bobcat now?
Yeah. And what am I now? Benny the bitch. Can I ask you, or can you tell our listeners, the people that are listening, if they're looking to transition into landscaping, what is the most one important piece of equipment that you wouldn't use in a everyday mowing business, or at least what has been your most important piece of landscaping equipment that has fucking saved your life? Sorry.
It depends if you're starting out. Like when I started out, we had a trailer and we'd load everything on the trailer, and it was my job to drive the trailer to the dump and shovel everything off. And it got to the point where a tip truck, like a tipper.
Ooh, tip truck, yep.
When you're starting out, that's probably out of the question. You get a skip bin to site.
Yep.
And you load everything on, get a skip bin. You know, I've always liked tools that feel nice.
Yeah.
You know, like you hold that shovel and it's a nice shovel, you know. It's got that thing going on, or a nice Matic. You want to use stuff that is not cheap and you go bang, throw it out. Oh, I've got to drive an hour there and back to get a new shovel or something like that.
Yeah, so being prepared and, you know, having good quality gear.
Having good quality wheelbarrow.
Yep.
Is good. You know, that's probably the first good thing that you need, a good wheelbarrow, shovel, mat, all of those things. Then it gets to the point where you start getting more jobs. And
what about a dingo, mate?
Or when I bought the dingo, I bought a bobcat first and then the dingo. We had both. So we come in and cream the job and then leave. But when I got that bobcat, that thing it looked a bit older, but it had been sitting moving potty mix its whole life. So it hadn't done any real hard work. Yeah. And then after we got it, we gave it some trouble. Lift the rocks and getting into, you know, jamming it into, boom, driving full speed into things to try and lift it up. And
busting out monos or endos.
Remember that job we did on the waterfront where it was like, you know, I was driving up and the front wheels would be coming off the ground. And I remember one day, I hit a rock and it went literally up, and I'm sitting in there, I'm thinking, fuck, I'm dead. and I just touched the front of it and it's gone boom, 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 and I'm bouncing around down this hill, and then next minute she's come good, and I was like, that was...
That's like Benny
right up in the air on a hill.
Yeah, I wasn't really gonna tell everyone what happened to me today, but I'm an experienced machine operator, right?
There we go.
On my stand on 0 to, I was on the Spartan, and I was on a 5-acre property, long grass. You know, it was long. I'm just putting through it, and when I got next to the boundary fence, the grass had thinned out a little bit, so I pick up the speed, and then there's a little bit of a thick spot, so anyway, I'm just hooking, and I've hit I won't call it a boulder, but it was a big rock. I've hit it on the front casters, and there's suspension on the front casters, and it's just immediately put me in a wheelie sideways straight through a 6-foot wooden fence, like snapped the full cross and every single paling off onto Tilly Road. And you probably can't really see, that's one little doo-boo. Smashed me shins on the metal parts of where the seat is. So, yes, it can happen.
When he rang me, he was so angry. He was so angry, man. Like he's like,
oh, it's filthy.
It was so.
I'm still pissed about it. Pissed that you brought it up.
It was relevant.
So how did a dingo change your life and for your workers and your everyday output, efficiency, all of these things? Was it worth the money?
Yes, in the sense that it makes a hard day easy, but sometimes, like, for months I'll be on a job where I can't even get it in there.
Yeah, that's horrible.
The only thing where, like a lot of our jobs, like now the access is getting smaller and smaller. That's why we had a Bobcat initially, and then, after a while it was like, can't even use this bloody thing, like, because you can't get it around the backyard of someone's place or whatever. So I got rid of that. I got the dingo there. That's great. Like it honestly, like I use it for stuff where now bringing out soil in the backyard, I'll just load wheelbarrows with it and wheel the wheelbarrow around the side. You got the trencher. You need to dig a few trenches, post hole, all the attachments. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we have learnt, and BJ is the ambassador for SCAG Australia, and one of the biggest things that we push are these little 32-inch stand-on mowers, because by the time, like, no matter what, they're more efficient. They are faster no matter what, but sometimes you might get to the end of the day or the end of a job, however you want to break it down, and maybe you've only saved 10 minutes on a 40-minute job, whatever the case is, but at the end of the day you can come home and not be half broken. You know what I mean? Because instead of racking up, like, I think a typical day for us on the push mowers is probably, 25,000 steps? Yeah. Maybe 20,000 more?
There's some guys that are...
How many Ks is that?
I don't know.
Fucking too many.
It's double the average of what... So not the average of what people do, but the average recommended. I think the recommended is 10,000 steps a day. Yeah. Now, even though, so you're doing the same amount of work, and you're really putting in a quarter of the effort.
And that's what
business-wise, when you look forward, especially to guys like we're all. What am I? I'm 30. I'm 35.
37.
You're 37. You're 30.
38, 39.
38, yeah. He doesn't know. But you know what I mean? Like, you got to make some of these smart decisions in business. Or you can break yourself by the time you're 45. You still got 20 years left when you're 45.
That's it. I came in late too, so I'm already fucking half broken when I got into the game. So I was like, what can make this easier? And
like, it's being in business these days. It's you got to. I think is if you're doing something you love, you'll find a way to make it work. Like, I can't. Just like our business in the past 20, we've been through droughts, floods, economic downturns, COVID now, plus fires,
all of these things.
So many of these times it's nearly shattered our business. Right when you get to the point where you're like, yeah, we're doing good, and then next minute, bang, it rains for a month. You can't. Like, one year we couldn't work for a month and a half, 2 months, because of the flooding, and everywhere was done. I had to put off all my landscaping jobs. If you were to go to your work and they say, look, I don't have work for you for 2 months, like, or even for one day you do something wrong and they say, look, I can't pay you for today, you'd be pissed off. Like,
people say, prepare for rainy days, but you don't prepare for fucking a rainy month and a half, 2 months. So that'd be a hard thing. Like, I'm sure income protection wouldn't cover that sort of shit.
Well, even with income protection, say if I need to make $15,000 a week to cover my bills and to do whatever, and then my your income, like, or compensation for that, they give you $800 a week.
Yeah.
For insurance or something like that. It's this, and not only that, is when you have a holiday, Like, I don't know, the society seems to be structured for robots. It's kind of like you got your month off at Christmas, but you still got to pay your machines, your tax, your rent, your BAS. Nothing, everyone else gets their money, you don't, plus you're paying to go on a holiday.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Plus you double. So, these are little things that a lot of people don't think about.
That's it. Well, I just had my first holiday in 2 years since my son was born. And that wasn't really a holiday. But it got to the end of the holiday and I was thinking, fuck, look at my accounts. Where did it all go?
Yep.
And we didn't have, because COVID was kicking in, so we didn't have an extravagant holiday out, and we had little bits and pieces of Christmas here and Boxing Day there, but I wasn't fucking, we didn't go away or anything, so I was just basic living is just grabbing that money.
It's a full-time job, just living, running a business, not doing anything else.
I think it's one of those things in business where, fair enough, if you want to be a solo operator your whole life, you can probably dictate some of these things. You can probably, be content with certain things and be like, oh, okay, I can have 2 weeks off here. Yeah. I certainly know I only have to look after myself or whatever the case is. But if you're really trying to build something, say you had a crew of 2 or 3 people and you're like, no, well, instead of doing $50,000 jobs, I want to do $150,000 jobs. When you make that decision, it's the same with us in Catch Bros, probably similar with you in TBL.
Yeah.
You've got 1 village and you're like, no, fuck that, I want 3.
Yeah.
You have to be able to come to terms with it's not just a job, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It becomes everything that you do. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's going to be a period, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10 years, where holidays are out the window.
Yeah. You gotta hustle, man. You gotta do whatever it takes to get through it.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get through.
So we always the whole idea of this podcast is to try and share our experiences and to try and share some of the things that some of the wins that we've had that can propel you forward. But at the same time, if you're not a hustler or determined or disciplined or any of those things, it'll never work, right?
You give up when it gets tough.
Yeah.
You just goes too.
And I'm a bit different to you guys too, because I worked 11 years for the same company and I didn't realise, everyone's always like, oh, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Now I'm like, you motherfuckers, it is way greener. There was never an opportunity for me, because my wife's a full-time carer for our daughter. There's a single income family. I just bought a house in a fucking boom that is crazy. And I'm like, you fucking lied to me this whole time. 11 years I spent in that fucking place. Could have been working with this guy.
I call them mud crabs, dude. It's this mud crab mentality.
Yeah.
And if you're in America, maybe they got some other type of sand crabs or something. It's a crab. When someone's climbing out of the bucket, the other crabs go, get down here with us, man.
That's so good.
There's no life out there.
Yeah. And that's what they did to me.
You can't do that, Benny. You can't create something. I bet heaps of people have said that to you.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that used to give me fuel.
Yeah.
They used to make me hungry and go, you know what, all these peeps think I'm a loser, I'm going to prove them fucking wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't, look, in my case, I had a lot of people around me and a lot of people that cared about me. They weren't, I had some people who were like, grass cutter, that'll never fucking work. But I also had some other people and they're like, we respect what you're doing, but I don't know.
I was with you, Benny.
You were with me. You were with me.
Yeah, I was always with you too.
Man.
But it wasn't, I never looked at it like I have to fucking prove them wrong. No. I just knew deep down that because I needed one, I thought, I can't be that different to any other. There has to be someone else out there that has a need for this as well. And then,
it
basically
works
evolve.
to get you out of the gutter, but then inspiration works from then on in, where you're excited about what you're doing and not just to prove someone wrong. But, for me in that low point, that's what got me out of the depression, is going,
I'm not going to lie. It made me a little bit hard to get above and beyond the from where I was earning. The earning capacity was similar, and then I was like, I'm earning more than I used to earn. whoa, there's a whole new fucking life out here. What's going on? And then it's just kept growing. I've got staff now, and it just, from where my mindset was when I worked for someone else, and I was just stuck, and I was in that fucking grind, like, and they were working me hard. And then,
Was it scary taking that first step?
you know what? I was terrified, but I had good support. I had Benny there. My wife was so supportive, and I had a bit of a kick up the arse because I had a car crash that was like life changing, and that was what sort of pushed me out of that business into it made the change. It made the change easier. I think like that. Sort of a wake-up call.
Just like a complete reset.
Yeah, sometimes you need that reset. Like, it doesn't have to be a car crash. Maybe you could, I don't know, get your fucking eyebrow pierced or something. But it's something easier than a car crash. But, I kind of needed that. So it'd be surprising to see how many people around Australia need a bit of a reset.
Yeah, well, it's like that discontentment. It's like that, for me, it's like there's always this it might be a rise where there's something more. I'm not feeling fulfilled right now.
Yep.
And there's something that I've got to do. And I really feel like, when you can just forget about all the negative stuff, put it on paper and go, you know what, maybe I could do this. And then you can learn everything around that and put pictures up on your wall, what you want to do. And, just to keep that dream alive for yourself. And you'll do whatever you got to do to get there.
Yeah.
So you'd say that really just being positive, just to put it down in its easiest form, being positive and having a positive attitude is really one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Like being positive. I think it's like for me, it was that I used to practice the positive sayings, like God, I'm going to make it through and everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be right. But then so when you embody that and go, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when even when
I
you
have to. I can't get out of this. I got so many bills. Shit. I can't go back. we bought this car and this truck. Now it's like you either go broke or whatever. Just do or die.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was great having you. I think we're ready to put a bow on this episode.
Man. That was awesome.
It was awesome having you, pal.
Thanks, man.
Really great.
Really appreciate it.
Really great insight and a bit of a different spin onto forming, maintaining, and growing a business. Let us know if you enjoyed having the landscape equation thrown into it, because this is a local dude. We can get him in.
Yeah, now, man. We'll get him back again. I had fun, so let's get him back in again.
If anyone wants to check out your stuff, where can they find you? What's the website?
Live Outdoors, Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram. Currently working on our website. So we're doing some stuff on that at the moment. So it's getting upgraded. So it might just come up with some cool pictures or something. But
sounds great. And just quickly, we'll touch on the book. Is the book coming out anytime soon?
Yeah, we're going to have some books. There's a few we're working on at the moment.
Okay.
So I wanted to have one where people can have a look at some plants and go, these will be some cool plants you can incorporate into the garden. Maybe some organic maintenance tips or some just general maintenance tips.
Yeah.
Included in the landscaping section. And it's growing as we speak, and maybe some cool pictures and some places they can look at.
Awesome.
Yeah, some inspirational pictures.
Okay, cool. Now, to everyone out there, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Hey, Beach.
It's got to be 5.
We don't want none of that 3-star shit. Definitely drop your comments on YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us at our socials. They can even reach to you directly if they, on social media. And, if you see something pop up like, hey, loved you on the Skull Sessions, rada. You're open to that sort of stuff?
Yeah, go down. Yeah, Live Outdoors.
And as we always say, if you've got any hate mail, send it to this motherfucker because I don't want it. At TBL Property Maintenance, IG, Facebook.
I'm here.
You can even just text him personally. Just
and if I stimulate anyone else's wiener, throw that in the comments too.
For everyone that tuned in late, that was our latest review from
Big Josh 320.
Big Josh 320. All right, guys. Thanks very much for listening, and peace.